Namaskar. Welcome to Ek Samvaad at Arunima Ankuran. Today we are in conversation with Dr. Rashmi Uddanwadiker, a celebrated engineer and scientist. A warm welcome to you and thank you for being on Ek Samvaad.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for welcoming.
Our guest, Dr. Rashmi, is a professor, Mechanical Engineering Department, VNIT. She is also a sitar player, and we'll be talking to her about all her accomplishments as we go on. A word about Arunima Ankuran. This is an initiative for positive social change through self-development. The goal is greater well-being and happiness for all. At Arunima Ankuran, we believe that each person is unique and special in some way, that each person can make a difference, that each person can be a change maker, and that's what inspires us to keep going. Dr. Rashmi is Associate Dean Training and Placement, VNIT Nagpur, and founder of NU OSSA Mediquip Pvt Limited, a startup dedicated to providing medical solutions and technologies. She has a strong track record in developing innovative medical devices and technologies, publishing research, and mentoring PhD candidates. She has completed 8 funded research projects amounting to 1.3 crore, published 40 journal papers, 81 conference papers, and 3 books. She has to her credit 10 granted patents, 4 published patents, and 2 copyrights. As a research guide, she has to her credit 7 completed PhD theses, 4 ongoing. And a long list of awards and achievements speaks volumes about her expertise. So we are so grateful that you joined us today here. I think I'll hand it over to you to tell us a little bit about these research products which you have developed and the technologies. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr.Pragya Mathur. It is great to have in this interaction with you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share about my journey, about my experiences and my research.
Yes.
So these are some of the research products which I have developed in collaboration with my students, and the idea or the brainchild behind all these products have been through some third party, maybe a doctor or a surgeon or somebody who really needs this. For example, this frying and roasting machine, this was developed for Khadi Village Industry Commission. And this was a product which was developed for rural sector where power supply is not available, and we wanted to, give them a kind of machine which reduces their drudgery, less effort and more output. And so we designed these products completely funded by Government of India, and we got patent on these 2 products. Then this agarbatti machine, this was an interesting development. This came as a consultancy from Gadchiroli Forest Department.
Okay.
And Chief Conservator of Forest, he visited VNIT and he said, as you know, this Gadchiroli is an Naxalite area, and most of the men there, they are killed or they are either in, jail or, so basically not providing for the house. And so the women there who are uneducated and illiterate, they have to earn.
Right.
So can you help us with such kind of machine wherein they can sit at home, take care of their family and kids, still they can produce something and earn. So that led to the design and development of this agarbatti making machine, and we have distributed 40 plus such machines.
Wonderful. How wonderful.
Yeah. Then comes the series of products which we have developed for different dentists, surgeons, ENT surgeons. One of the products which is very close to my heart, this is the tracheal tube implant. So those windpipe through which we breathe and through which we speak. That is known as a trachea. There was one such patient whose trachea was collapsed. So he was a farmer from Yavatmal, and all of us know the stories of these farmers. So they are very prone to committing suicide because of some loss in the productivity. So this young boy around 18 or 19 years, he consumed poison. He was saved, but he lost his voice box. His trachea was completely collapsed. and he was not having enough funds to get it treated, because this tracheal tube implant, this is costing almost 25,000 plus the cost of surgery and the associated cost, which goes in a tune of lakh.
Hmm.
The idea is he consumed poison because he was totally broke, right, out of money. So how would he get funds to get this treatment? So some NGO, he brought this young boy to hospital, and then they were looking for an implant. And at the same time, same duration, we were working on these implants with a noted ENT surgeon, Dr. Subhash Lule. So that was for the first time we developed this T-tube implant in-house at VNIT. Since it was a research product, we were not selling it. So we donated this to the hospital, and this young boy, he got this treatment free of cost. And immediately after the surgery, when he was conscious, he could speak.
Right.
And that speech from his mouth, and because he was crying, that was out of happiness, that gave me a lot of satisfaction. So you can make somebody speak. Somebody can speak after maybe 6 to 8 months or 1 year. So these were some of the products which we developed. And prosthetic arm, again a brainchild of one of the leading orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Karandikar. Snoring controlling device, a product for developed for dentists. So snoring is one of the very common disorders as we see.
Yes.
And the paradox here is one who is snoring has no trouble, but one who is sleeping next to this person, he is awake.
Yes.
Yeah. So we wanted to develop a device which would, control his snoring habits. So this is what is a known fact. There are other limitations or disadvantages of snoring as well. If you are snoring continuously, it increases the pressure on your heart. It leads to obesity. So it is actually very bad. So all those patients who have this class 2 malocclusion, which means the lower jaw is behind the upper jaw, way behind the upper jaw. So we have developed this device, again tested on patients. Rhinoplasty, this is again a surgical tool. It's a set of tools that we have developed, and ENT surgeons, plastic surgeons, they are using. So these are all products for which we have filed the patents. Almost 10 patents are granted, 4 more are in pipeline. Then others are the technologies again used by mostly by the doctors and surgeons. The last one, the technology that you can see is cricket coaching simulation technique. Again, very interesting, because when I present this in front of my students in a class of young boys, they are extremely fascinated with this technique. So how can you coach a player to hit a straight drive? A straight drive is a very textbook shot, which very few classical players would attempt. So Sachin Tendulkar, Sunil Gavaskar, they were the players who used to play this. We performed a lot of tests, and we collaborated with Dr. Mark King from Loughborough University, UK, for this project, and we came out with few techniques which we can, tell the coach, and he can coach the cricketers. So this was an interesting project.
Wow. This is so amazing just to see the social impact that you can create as an engineer. Such a pleasure to listen to what you're doing, such meaningful work, such impactful work, changing lives, you know. But then that brings us to the initial question of what was it in your childhood or in your growing up years that prompted you to become a mechanical engineer? Tell us about that.
Um, okay, let me share this. I started with a very modest background, a very average or a below average kind of student, scoring, just bare passing marks. So this I'm telling you from third, fourth, or fifth standard. And very ordinary looking, living in a modest house with limited means. And what I always dreamt of, or what I always asked God. So I always asked Him, make me beautiful, make me intelligent, and make me rich. Of Almighty. And always had this passion of making something different, something unusual. Uh, Again, fascinated by the idea that I am the first one doing this kind. So I was the first person to go for an engineering college in my entire family. from my father's side, my mother's side. Till then, everybody was doing, science or arts graduate. Nobody was doing engineering.
Okay.
So that's how it started. And then, because nobody was engineer at house, nobody knew what is electronics engineering or what is a mechanical engineering. So when I went there for counseling, where the name of institute and name of branches were allotted, they said we have one seat on mechanical engineering, but then there are no girls, all boys. For electronics and for other branches, there are girls, so you can choose. And I said, okay, no girls, then I'm going for this. And my father was standing next to me and he just gave me a look, what are you doing? I said, I'll do it.
Wow.
So I took it as a challenge, and then I remember for next 1 or 2 years, people were consistently trying to convince me, अभी भी chance है first year के बाद change your branch. And I said, अब तो मैं बिल्कुल करूँगी. It becomes more and more kind of a challenge. This I have to do it. What is that is so difficult here? Let me see. So legally it is allowed. Like those days, mining engineering was not allowed to female, but mechanical was allowed. And I had no classmates, girls, 71 boys, and I was all alone. Similarly, no seniors in past 3 batches, but I had a lady professor who was a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
And she was so inspiring, such a confidence that she carried. I think that inspired me to become a mechanical engineer.
What were some of the very practical challenges you faced, being the only girl in that batch of 71 boys?
Yeah, so that was in 1992 when I took admission to engineering college. And I was staying in Raipur, and though it's not very, advanced or not very modern, so to say the word. So interacting with boys, roaming about with boys was not very common. So once in a while, I used to talk to those boys for getting the books or the notes likewise. I tried to keep myself in a shelf so that, I'm protected, I'm safe kind of thing. But then that was a challenge. You have to break the ice ceiling somewhere so that you can interact with them freely, be comfortable. And it took almost 4 years for the first time, final year engineering. First time I went out for some treat or for party with a group of students in my class. So that was a challenging. Then I had this training for 2 months in Bhilai steel plant. Again, steel plant, all men, all boys, there were no girls. And first 2, 3, 4 days, no washroom. And then fifth day, I had to use a washroom. So I went into a men's washroom.
Oh my God.
Nobody was there inside. And when I locked myself inside the washroom, I heard some 3, 4 men talking. They were standing out. And then I was terribly scared. How do I come out of this? These people will, laugh at me. They'll mock me. They might tease. So I kept inside till everybody leaves that
Oh
small washroom. So I was there inside almost 35 to 40 minutes.
my God, imagine.
Yeah, so that was a challenge. And then next year, in third year, I went to Air India Mumbai. That was again 5 weeks of training. Again, all men in the floor, in the office, in the clerical staff, they were females. So I kept roaming for 8 days, and ninth day, I asked somebody finally, where is the washroom? Because I was there from morning 9 to evening 6:30. And you have to
Yes,
have
yes.
this nature. And on the 8th day, I asked some lady, and she was laughing at me. Girl, how do you manage for last 8 days? I'm seeing you here. I said I was kind of shying away. How do I ask the male colleagues where is ladies' washroom? And then she told me there's a library, and behind the library you have a girls' washroom. So that was some of the challenges. So today I enjoy sharing these, but then it was really difficult. One
Um,
funny
huh.
incident on a similar lines was the same Bhilai steel plant I was telling you. So there were a group of 4 to 5 boys who were continuously chasing me, right? Almost 8 days. And I knew that they are following me. Did nothing. Absolutely no comments, nothing. And for one fine day on 10th or 11th day, two boys, they came to me and they said, excuse me, we are betting on you. Somebody said you are a mechanical engineer, and four of us, we are very sure you cannot be a mechanical engineer. So
Okay.
would you please clarify?
Hmm.
And then I burst out into laughter. Oh, they were not kind of chasing me or following me. They were just trying to gather enough courage to talk to me and clarify this. And I said, yes, I'm a mechanical engineer. And those boys on the other side, they were, yeah, we have won. It was a kind of fun incident.
Wow. That is, these stories actually, in the context when we are talking today, uh, it is something we are laughing at. But when you go back to that time, uh, you're a leader. You've broken so many barriers. So proud of you. Um,
Thank you.
Also, I'm very curious to know, where did your interest in research come from? You know, because mechanical engineers do a lot of other things. Maybe it comes from the fact that you're a professor and you have to interact with students. Talk to us a little bit about so many meaningful projects you have been doing. So, what inspires you to do research?
So when I was in ninth standard, one of the teachers, as usual, he was asking the entire class, where do you see yourself 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, or what are your ambitions or goals? And everybody was like, engineer, doctor, or something, the usual answers. And then when it came to my turn, I wanted to say something different from this, not engineer or doctor, something different.
Hmm.
And when he asked me, what do you want? And I just really, I blurted out scientist. And that day onwards, everybody used to mock me. Oh, Rashmi, you are becoming a scientist. You are going to become a scientist. You'll be developing few things. And I just blurted out because I wanted, to say something different. That's it.
Huh.
But then that was there in my mind that
Hmm.
scientists. So what scientists is doing? They are doing some innovation,
Hmm.
some research. When I joined VNIT as an ad hoc professor here, ad hoc lecturer, a very senior professor here who was working in mechanical engineering department, Professor Model,
Hmm.
he asked me, "Would you be interested in doing research?"
Hmm.
So you see the connecting the dots, something you
Yes.
have been searching for so many years, and now somebody, a very senior professor in his 60s, he's offering you, "Do you want to do research?" And I was immediately, yes, very much so. So that's how my research journey started.
Hmm.
But that was in core engineering.
Hmm.
2004, another professor, Professor Padole, he asked me, do you want to work in biomedical engineering field as your PhD research? This would be extremely difficult, challenging, but interesting. The choice is yours. So I took 2 days of time, and
Hmm.
because the word challenging was there, I had to go for it.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Tell us a little about your doctoral work.
Yeah, so it was about the dental treatment
Hmm.
and how do you make a given dental treatment successful.
Hmm.
If you have heard about the root canal treatment is a kind of painful treatment.
Hmm.
But if you are suffering with some dental cavities or tooth fracture, you have to go for it. And after going through this entire treatment, which would take, then it would take 10 to 15 days or even a month. So you go through the treatment with a lot of pain, your mouth wide open, sitting on a dental chair, and the dentist is using all sort of instruments inside your mouth. You are
Yes.
helpless. And if this treatment doesn't last for at least 10 to 15 years,
Hmm.
that is extremely traumatic. If you have to go through the same treatment again after 2 years.
Hmm.
So the problem was, how do you ensure the success of this root canal treatment? That was the project.
Hmm.
And before doing this project, I myself had 2 or 3 root canal treatments.
Hmm.
So I more wanted to work on this project. This is how I started with this research. I got my doctoral degree in 2009.
Hmm.
And since then, I have been teaching this subject biomechanics. So I am the only faculty in entire VNIT who started teaching this subject. And now we are a group of 5 or 6 members at VNIT who are into biomedical research. But everybody is working in different domains. I'm more into product development, so I collaborate with ENT surgeons, orthopedic surgeons, dentists, So these are my domain areas.
Uh, Please tell us something about your startup.
Okay. So while I was doing so many research, um, another ENT surgeon, he had some idea of developing a temporal bone is one of the most complex bone behind your ear. This is the temporal region. And all the ENT surgeons, they have to do surgery of this temporal bone, which is, as I said, lot of crevices, lot of fine vessels and nerves, and that is a very challenging surgery. So these ENT surgeons, they normally get the cadaveric bones, that is from the dead bodies. But these days, because of ethical issue, these cadaveric bones are not available. So this ENT surgeon, Dr. Prashant Naik, he approached me saying, can we develop this in a 3D printed version so that without touching a dead body, you can get the same feel, same kind of surgeries can be done in practice. I saw the bone, I said, this is too complex. It's extremely difficult, but let me try. But this would take, there would be some finances involved in which you should be ready to spend at least whatever, 30,000, 40,000. And he left my room, he got downstairs and he immediately called another ENT surgeon. Oh, Dr. Rashmi is asking for money to do research. No, I'm not doing. And another ENT surgeon who had referred him to me, he said, forget that money, go and start with the research. Now I was looking for a good student. So there was a student, Piyush, who was doing his master's in Jabalpur. He read about one of my research in newspapers. And Piyush from Jabalpur, he contacted me. Madam, I want to do something with you. I said, come on. So this Dr. Naik, the student from Jabalpur and I, we three of us collaborated. We got this successful product developed. And then this doctor said, now I want to commercialize this. So I want somebody who would start up a company. It has to commercialize this. So the same student, MTech student, Piyush, he was the executive director. I am the founder because this incubation center is at VNIT, and we have three more doctors who are the directors of these companies. And we have incubated this in 2017. And most of our customers, more than India, they are in Middle East. So Middle East, because of religious issues, getting bone from a dead body is absolutely possible. So we have a lot of customers there. We have good number of clients in US, in Pakistan. So that is doing well.
Wow. You must be spending so much time doing all of this, but everyone needs a break. So, what does Dr. Rashmi do when she needs a break? What are your hobbies?
So one of that which you have mentioned is I play sitar. So that's an instrument which I don't know if you have heard, extremely melodious, very soft music. And yes, I enjoy doing that. I also enjoy cooking. And fortunately, my daughters, they are very fond of whatever I cook. So they normally would, say, मम्मी आप रेस्टोरेंट मत शुरू करना यार बाकी लोगों की छुट्टी हो जाएगी.
Oh,
So
that is so sweet.
that's the kind of appreciation they give me. I don't know, it's sheer love, but that is very satisfying. When you can please somebody just by preparing
Yes.
little stuff and you can feed them, make them happy. That is very satisfying. That is relaxing as well.
The word that's coming to my mind when I'm talking to you is Sarvaguna Sampann. It is like that sometimes. All the Saraswati has blessed you with so much. So,
Thank you.
I would like you to tell us, what is that thing in life which is most valuable for you? What is most important among so many things that you're doing?
Yeah, so value wise, the one which is topmost on the list is integrity. So when I'm a teacher, I'm completely a teacher and I would always enter my class on time, leave my class on time. I'll try to put in maximum when I'm teaching. I'll try to put in my 100% when I'm doing research or when I'm serving as a daughter-in-law or a wife or a mother. I want to be 100%. So integrity is a key word with which I want to stick to. Whatever I'm doing, wherever I am.
I think that's a beautiful mantra for anyone who wants to excel in life.
Sometimes it's also, putting some pressure,
Hmm.
because then you have to run to be on time.
Hmm.
I cannot relax because I'm getting late, so I have to rush.
Hmm.
My family members say it's okay to be late for 5 minutes. It's okay. You can drive slowly, you can have your breakfast, sit comfortably and eat
Hmm.
it. But then no. I have to be there at 9 a.m. if it's a 9 a.m. lecture. So that puts a little pressure on you. But
So
then integrity is more than this pressure thing. I can
yes,
handle pressure, but I cannot compromise with my integrity.
so you have had so many successes and work that you have done. Is there something you wanted to do? It didn't happen the way you expected. Can you share something like that with us?
Yeah, there have been many in which I would have loved to do, but I could not do because of maybe some family constraints. Um, I still want to pursue postdoctoral research in some good reputed university, maybe either in US or in Germany. So
Mhm.
that's a dream I'm still pursuing or chasing. And someday, yes, but you are not made for this hall, this department, this building. You should be working in some US universities. So that
Mhm.
is, the biggest compliment I think I have ever received.
Mhm.
That motivates me. Okay, sometime later, maybe 10 years down the line, age is just a number. I'll definitely go with this for this postdoc.
Wow. Before we conclude this Ek Samvaad with you, please share a message for your students.
Okay, so there is no shortcut to hard work, and be sincere and honest to whatever you are doing. You have tons of blessings on your way, but you have to go and get it. They'll not come running towards you. That is my message. So this generation, Gen Z, they want everything handy, ready-made,
Hmm.
which is, and you don't enjoy that flavor if it is so easily available.
Yes.
So unless you really work hard, you will not get the taste of that hard work or that output or that result. That's my message.
And how would Dr. Rashmi describe herself in 3 words? Or more, maybe?
Very enthusiastic,
Hmm.
um, very friendly,
Hmm.
and compassionate.
Thank you so much for being on Ek Samvaad. It was such a pleasure talking to you. And
My
I
pleasure.
think as a part of the society, I'm so grateful to an academician like you who's doing research which is creating social impact and helping other people. And I think compassion is something that can make an engineer a change maker, which is what you are. So thanks a lot for being on Ek Samvaad. It was a pleasure talking to you, and all the very best for all your future endeavors. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.